Welcome to Gilchrist Blue Springs, Florida's newest state park. The name of Blue Springs is definitely very fitting.
It's not too bad. It's chilly.
It's gonna feel great in a few hours.
While Gilchrist Blue Springs does have much to offer, parts of our visit to this park were more of a nightmare than a dream.
I do not like this. Oh, I'm starting to get really cold after being in here for a while.
So join us on our day in North Florida to see the things that disappointed, the things that impressed, and whether Florida's newest state park is one of its best. Located in north central Florida, approximately 27 miles northwest of Gainesville, Gilchrist Blue Springs is a 407-acre state park located on the Santa Fe River. The park opens at 8 a.m., which is right around the time we arrived on this Friday morning in July. We found the driveway to the park to be long and quite bumpy, with lots of pothole dodging required.
It's 8 a.m. and there were just a couple cars in line, but people are already here. You gotta get here early.
After paying a $5 entrance fee, we found a nice spot to park in the shade and set out to explore this beautiful park. First on our agenda was to check out the main spring swimming area, which we knew would be at its clearest before the crowds of visitors arrived.
So we made it down to the main spring around 8:15, 15 minutes after the park opened, and we were like the 5th and 6th people in the springs, but we realized that we forgot our goggles, so I'm heading back to the vehicle to grab our goggles so we can do some swimming.
This is the designated swimming area. Most of it is just a few feet deep, but where it gets dark over there, that is quite a bit deeper. Now it is roped off. You can see way over there. There's some paddlers coming through. I think we'll probably blow up our paddle boards and paddle as far as we can go a little bit later today. Because most of the swimming area is pretty shallow, it is known to be a good spring to start off at to get used to the spring water before you go to the springs that are much deeper. We're noticing that as the sun gets higher in the sky, the water just keeps getting bluer and bluer over here. It definitely deserves the name of Blue Springs. Skylar went back to the car to get our snorkel gear, so hopefully he can dive in that area and show you all what it looks like under the water. So we don't actually have snorkel gear, just goggles, and I think we have some water shoes if we want them to. But
I can hold my breath for a while.
yeah, this is all we need to show you what it looks like under there.
How's it feel?
It's not too bad. It's
Good.
chilly.
It's gonna feel great in a few hours.
I know.
Alright, so first attempt of swimming down into the vent did not go as planned because although I can normally hold my breath for a really long time, in that cold water I could only hold my breath for like 10 seconds, so we'll try it again once I get a little more acclimated.
While Skylar never really got used to the chilly 72-degree water, the initial shock did eventually wear off, and he was able to swim down near the bottom of the 20-foot deep spring. After watching Skylar have a blast swimming with the fish in the crystal clear water, I decided that I couldn't let him have all the fun. And while the dive down into the spring was quite cold, the views of this underwater world made it totally worth it.
This is proof that you can still be cold on a 90-degree day in Florida.
Yeah. You literally, I can't even talk.
And after about an hour or so in the water, the people were starting to file in, so we made our way to shore to thaw out.
So if you're planning a trip to this park and you've been looking at pictures of it online, there's a good chance you've seen a nice boardwalk path and also a platform that you can jump off of. And we were kind of expecting to see both of those things when we got here, but we found out that they were both destroyed in a recent hurricane, and unfortunately they haven't had a chance to build them back yet.
Now around 10 a.m., the temperature was rising, but we were still pretty chilly from the springs, so we decided to warm up with a hike on the nature trail.
So we did get here early this morning in order to get out on the water before it got too crazy. And while it was a little chilly this morning, it was totally worth being out there when it was really peaceful. It is already starting to fill up, so we're gonna warm up by showing you a little more of what you can do in this park.
And it is supposed to get all the way up to 96 degrees later this afternoon, so we're definitely gonna be getting back out on the water later on. For those of you with pets, you can bring your dog out on this trail, and they do have cleanup bags.
But to our surprise, we saw no dogs and just a few other people out on this trail, and it wouldn't take long to discover why.
So you only have to walk a couple hundred feet or so down this nature trail before you come to the second of 5 springs on this property. We believe this one is called Naked Springs, but we're gonna keep going down this trail to see if we can find the other 3.
So 4 of the 5 springs in this park are currently under restoration, so you can only swim and paddle in the main spring, which is Gilchrist Blue. We just passed the tent-only camping area, and out of curiosity, we had checked to see if we could get a campground for this weekend, and they were all booked up. The only days available were Sunday and Monday nights, so if you are interested in camping here, we would recommend booking early. So far I am happy with how much shade is on this trail. It is really hot, but the trail is pretty cool, but it is really buggy, so you will have to bring your bug spray.
So we're maybe about a mile into this hike so far, and it's starting to get really buggy. I didn't think it'd be a big deal because I thought Jamie had brought the bug spray, but it turns out she thought I brought it, and it's actually back in the car. So we got to keep moving. As long as we're moving quick, the bugs don't seem to bother us too much, but the second we stop, we get swarmed.
At this point, we were starting to have flashbacks of when we got eaten alive a couple of hours to the south on the Weeki Wachee River and had over 100 itchy bug bites to show for it. And while the mosquitoes on this trail alone may not have been enough to make us turn back, our next discovery certainly was.
There is a giant spider above this trail. Luckily, the web is well above human height. He does look a little bit intimidating.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, there's another one over there. There's like multiple.
Oh, that one over there might be even bigger.
I do not like those.
He's trying to get a leaf out of his web, it looks like. Look how big that thing is, though.
Oh my gosh, if you're afraid of spiders, you probably don't want to go on
Well,
this trail.
if you have arachnophobia, this is a really good place to come to try to get over it.
No, thank you.
We later learned that the golden silk orb weaver, also known as a banana spider, is the largest spider in Florida and is also quite common in this area of the state. The spiders build huge golden webs, often across hiking trails, but despite their intimidating look, they're actually quite timid, and their bite is far less severe than a bee sting, and if I would have known this in advance, I probably would have been much less freaked out.
Alright guys, we had to make a decision to cut our hike on this trail a little bit short because we were both getting eaten alive, and Jamie was also getting freaked out by those giant spiders. Now the spiders didn't bother me too much, but getting bitten up by mosquitoes does. It's a bit of a bummer we got to cut this short because we didn't even see 3 of the springs yet. There's also supposed to be a really cool sinkhole full of frogs and a really old cypress tree as well, but we're just gonna have to come back to hike this trail another time to see those things.
So I am very glad to be off of that trail and away from the mosquitoes and also the spiders, but it is getting really hot, so we're gonna get back on the water. But before we do that, we are gonna stop by the concession stand because I'm getting a little hungry. Skylar, they have corn dogs.
What?
In addition to $3 corn dogs, we found the stand to have several other reasonably priced options, as well as paddlecraft and accessories for rent. We glanced over this map showing the many springs in the area as we waited for our lunch order at the concession stand. After a short wait, our order was up and we were ready to eat.
Now this might not be one of the most impressive meals we've had on this channel, but for $7 and a view of the springs behind me, we're not complaining.
Well, you haven't even tried it yet. Now are you complaining?
No.
Pretty decent?
Yeah, for a microwave burger, it's fine.
For just $3, Skylar wasn't complaining about his corn dog either, but if you do prefer a healthier lunch, we would recommend packing your own.
So it's about noon now, meaning we've already been at this park about 4 hours. Now the swimming portion of this day was a big success, but the hiking on the trail definitely was not. Next up is paddling. We gotta go grab our boards and we'll see how it goes.
We've got our boards ready and we cannot wait to show you more of this river, but first we do want to show you where we're staying for this trip, because if you're like us and plan this at all last minute, you're probably not going to get a campground, and plus it is just really hot this time of year, so you might just prefer booking a hotel or a place to stay anyways.
Our home for the weekend takes us just 12 miles to the east of Gilchrist Blue Springs, where in the quaint and historic downtown Alachua, you'll find Serenity Terrace.
Welcome to Serenity Terrace. This is a 1-bed, 1-bath, newly listed Airbnb located in the historic downtown of Alachua, Florida. Now, as soon as you walk in, you'll get to this nook area, which actually offers quite a bit. But of course, our favorite feature has to be this coffee bar. We used it this morning and they have a Keurig machine as well as an assortment of K-cups. They also have creamer, sugar, and even to-go coffee cups. And if you're a tea drinker, they have an assortment of teas, plenty of water, and a pot for boiling the water. You will notice that this unit does not come with a full kitchen, but it does offer a toaster, a microwave, and a mini fridge and freezer. Now on the other side of the nook, you will find a sleeper sofa. It does pull out into a queen size bed, so this unit can actually sleep 4. Now across the hall, you're gonna find the restroom. It is very basic, but you are gonna find all of your necessities. They offer shampoo, conditioner, body lotion, soap, and even toothpaste. I like that this bathroom is a functional bathroom. It has a ton of storage, especially behind these mirrors here. There's a lot of space for your toiletries. And of course, it also offers a toilet, a shower, and plenty of towels. Next, let's get to the bedroom. The bedroom also has a lot to offer, including this 55-inch Roku Smart TV, and below that you'll find a workspace, which we will definitely be using to transfer all of our footage from the Springs. On the other side of the room, you're gonna find this super soft king bed, and you're also gonna find one of these nightstands on either side. I wanna point out that not only do they look nice, but they are super functional. They have a shelf and a drawer. So when I decide to bring 4 pairs of sunglasses on our trips, which Skylar always makes fun of me for, I have plenty of space to store them. Now before we show you the outdoor space, we do wanna show you this massive walk-in closet. This is where you'll find the iron and ironing board, a dresser, hangers, and a place to store your luggage. Right outside of the front door, you will find this cute little sitting area. This is the perfect place to enjoy your morning coffee and just take in the views of this spacious backyard, which now includes newly planted citrus trees. We do want to say thank you to the host of this Airbnb for providing us with a discounted stay in order to help us create this video. If you're interested in booking this Airbnb, we'll make sure to put a link to it in the video description below, or you can also Google Serenity Terrace, Alachua. Now let's get back to the Springs.
So you can rent both kayaks and paddleboards here at the Springs for around $80 for the entire day, which isn't too bad, but you can also bring your own, which is a great way to save a few bucks.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to even get to the water. It's definitely a challenge navigating out of this main spring area because there are so many people. That's fine. I'm just going to slowly try to get out of this area. Alright, we are almost out of the swimming area here. So beyond these buoys, you're not supposed to tube, swim, or walk. So as soon as you get past the buoys, it is so different. Look at this. Very calm and relaxing. The current very easily takes you downstream, so you really only have to paddle to steer. We will have to paddle a little bit to get back though. There's a turtle right there sunning itself.
Oh yeah.
I really like that we can see all the different seagrasses and how colorful they are.
So after paddling for about a quarter mile or so straight north from the head spring, we've already reached the Santa Fe River, which you can probably see behind me. Now, it probably only took us about 5 minutes or so. Granted, we were going with the current, so we had it pushing us towards the river, but it only flows at like 1 to 3 miles per hour, so I wouldn't expect the paddle back to take too much longer.
So the very quick paddle to make it to the river. Skylar is out on the river right now. You can see those buoys. That's where the crossing is over to the river. It goes very quickly from being able to see almost anything in the water to being able to see nothing. It's due to the roots of a specific tree, but it's pretty crazy to see the clear water go really murky very fast.
Jamie's hanging back in the spring. She didn't want to come out onto the river. Honestly, I don't blame her. The springs are beautiful. You can literally see everything below you. Whereas on the river out here, it's murky. You can't see anything in the water. But I will say it's still quite pretty.
I don't know why you'd want to leave these areas though. They are so gorgeous. But you know Skylar, he loves to explore, so he's over there checking out those turtles, I guess. If you do decide to go out on the river, you can paddle to other springs. I know Jenny Springs is very close, but if you are renting boards from the park here, there's an extra fee if you have to have them come and pick you up from that park, because you're not really supposed to go there, I guess. Oh, it is so gorgeous. I wish this was a little bit of a longer paddle.
So we are only taking you on a short paddle in this week's video, but tomorrow we're actually going on a much longer one, and you're gonna see that in next week's video, so make sure you tune into that one. Turtle, it's coming towards you.
Come here, guys. There's a turtle coming this way, but he's going into the dark area.
Now, a lot of people ask if there's gators in the springs, and the answer is sure. Like, if you're in fresh water in Florida, odds are there's been a gator in it at some point, and the springs are no exception, although from everything I've read, the springs are not alligators' favorite place. Especially in the summer, the springs are quite cold compared to the other fresh waters. The alligators prefer warmer spots. That being said, you can still find alligators in springs occasionally, and you can definitely find them out in the rivers.
I think it's pretty crazy that we went from being like so cold this morning to be overheated.
Yeah, you can't swim in the springs here, but at least you can dip your feet in them.
Yeah,
It helps a lot.
Yeah, once you get to this area of the spring, you got to stay on your paddle craft. It's really for like preservation of the natural grasses.
So as you can see, even though it's really packed in the head spring in the entrance area, back here by the run towards the back of the swimming area, it's really not busy at all. And you can touch here.
And it's in the shade.
It's in the shade. It's only like knee deep. Even on a busy Friday, on a 95-degree day, you can come here and get some space to yourself. All right, Jamie, our swim was a success, our hike was a failure, but what do you think about our paddle here at Gilchrist Blue Springs?
I would say the paddle was also a success. It was absolutely gorgeous. I loved how clear it was and that you could see all the seagrass below. I do wish it was a little bit longer, but we are going on a much longer paddle tomorrow, so it's probably an okay thing that it is a shorter paddle here today. The color of the water is more vibrant now, but there are way more people, and it ends up being more cloudy because people are kicking up the sand. So if you get here earlier, the water might not be as vibrant, but it will be clearer. After finishing paddling, I do want to say that I wish that there was a separate area for individuals to enter the water versus the kayaks, paddleboards, and canoes, because everybody kind of gets bunched up in this area, and you got to be a little careful navigating out of the crowd.
We're getting ready to leave Gilchrist Blue Springs State Park, and even though our hike was a bit of a disaster, overall we had a really good time here.
Now, is this one of Florida's best state parks? Maybe not in its current condition, but we did really enjoy our time swimming in the springs this morning before it got too busy, and we also really enjoyed that stunning paddle. Now, we do have a few more places we want to show you in the area to help you decide if visiting this state park is going to be worth your time.
One thing that definitely made the trip to Gilchrist Blue Springs worth our time was downtown Alachua, with its oak-lined streets and sleepy, old Florida feel.
We made it to downtown Alachua, which has a quaint small town vibe that we really love. We're on Main Street right now, which is the location of where we're going to be having dinner in a little bit. And less than a block from that, we found this really cool old park, which we learned used to be a theater and is covered in vines.
While this park was pretty cool, the weather was still hot and we were hungry. But thankfully, Conestoga's was just a few steps away. Known for its massive portions, southern hospitality, and old country feel, Conestoga seemed like the perfect place to be after a long day at the Springs. We found the menu to be absolutely huge, offering steaks, burgers, seafood, and a whole lot more.
So this place is off to a good start because they gave us free bread and honey butter, which is delicious.
Next up was our salads, which both came with a healthy side of blue cheese dressing.
We wouldn't normally both order a salad for our side, but when it comes with their homemade blue cheese dressing, we just had to do it.
How's that homemade dressing?
It's good, but you're the blue cheese connoisseur, so you should probably try it. Thoughts on the blue cheese?
It's excellent.
Last up were our entrees, which for me included the coconut shrimp special and the biggest sweet potato fries we've ever seen.
How can they even call that a French fry?
It's big. It's like a potato wedge.
Skylar's entree included this enormous buffalo chicken sandwich and yes, even more blue cheese dressing.
More blue cheese. Skylar is in heaven. It's gonna be messy.
Although we couldn't come close to finishing our meals, both entrees were fantastic, and we still had one more spot to go. Our final stop of the night took us to 13800 Tech City Circle, where you'll find a spot for beer and cow lovers alike at the Daft Cow Brewery. Inside Daft Cow, you'll find bar front swings and the most impressive collection of cow art that you'll ever see. Of course, you can find beers here as well, and we decided to sample 4, our favorites of which were the Papazaka IPA and the Cotton Candy Sour. We finished up our flight of beers while planning more Florida Springs adventures, which you can see by clicking here right now. Thanks for watching!